Hi everyone, a big warm welcome from me, Carol, here at Oak House Journals. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'm going to show you what I've done since the first video in this little mini series with regards to this little Christmas accordion journal or accordion fold journal that I'm making with these beautiful chapter 1 papers, and it's the Snowy Christmas garden kit and also the Christmas garden kit. And again, as always, all the information is in the description box down below. Now, what I decided last time was, let me just get this paper clip off here and these little bits. What I did last time was to create this front page, didn't I? Or this front cover to the journal, and I did some paper piecing, as you can see on the back here, for the border. And then I just did a row of stitching. So the stitching is new, you won't have seen that. And also I wasn't sure where I was going to put this little tassel trim at the on the front cover, so I decided I would put it at the top so that it looks a bit like icicles or snow hanging down from a tree, something like that. Now, what I have done since the last video is I have done a quick revision note in the description box to the first video, just to say to you that the actual size that I'm working to here and what I described in the first video, you might want to consider making it slightly taller in height. The simple reason being that when you take one of these journal pages from the kit, whether you use the A4 size or the US size, you print it off 2 or 4 to a page, you end up doing a lot of this paper piecing if you want to get the borders to show. Now, I don't mind doing that, but to make life easier, you might want to increase the size of your little journal here, so that when you print off this image 4 to a page, you don't have to do any trimming. It depends on exactly how you want to do it. I am a bit, I was constrained for the simple reason that I already had this. If you've watched my previous video, I actually mentioned that I already had this and I just wanted to use it up. So I am going to carry on, but if you read that revision note, all it says to you is you might want to consider revising your measurements for the front cover so that when you print out one of these pages, 2 or 4 to a page, depending on what size journal you want, you can actually do it very easily without having to mess with the border. And you'll see again why I'm making reference to that as I go and show you what I've done. Obviously we had to do it on the front cover, or I had to do it on the front cover, but it's also happening inside the little journal as well. So this is my front cover as it stands at the moment. I've stitched it, I've attached the lace to the top, and I am toying with the idea of maybe just putting a couple of little pieces like so down the front and leaving them as dangles and doing that so that it looks like that, just to soften the corner a little bit. So that's one thing I'm thinking of. And the other thing I might do instead of, or as well as, is to include this lovely piece of lace that I've got. Now, don't panic. I think, let me unfold this bit. It's going to be way too much to have that on the bottom there. It does look pretty, but for me it doesn't quite work. It makes it, I lose some of that image. But what I did think I might do is just take it down slightly so that I get these, if I hold it up, just that little bit of the swirl and a leaf showing, and chop the rest off. And that way, it's hard to show you, let me just line that up, That way I get a little bit of detail, and I also get this rough edge of the very, very fine tool that I have at the top of this lace. And that, as you can see, it's almost scalloped along the top there. And I'm thinking that that might be pretty, just to add a very, very discreet detail to the front cover. So I'm not sure at the moment whether I'm going to do that or this or both. So, and this is how my journals tend to come together. I have an idea. If I'm not sure, then I will walk away, do something else and think about it, and then revisit it. And sometimes I will leave it out on my crafting desk, just like this, walk away from it at the end of the day. And when I come back the next morning, I invariably find that I look at it and think, oh, no, I don't like that, or, oh, I quite like that. And I just go from there. So that's kind of how I play, as I call it, how I craft. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there. So let me pop those to one side and take you inside. Now, as you can see, I've not even attached the front cover because I'm not sure at the moment how I want my closure to be, whether I'm going to wrap it round with that beautiful silk chiffon I showed, or whether I'm going to put that underneath here and just have it coming out at the side, at the edge here. I don't know yet, so I'm kind of, again, just leaving this as it is until I've made up my mind and settled on what I want to do. So let me just put some paper clips back in place because they were holding my inside page. Okay, and this is what we have inside now. This is what I'm settled with doing. And actually, let's take those paper clips off. So what I've done is I have taken a piece of the kit, and there's this lovely, it's just a very soft cappuccino colour, I call it, and it's got very, very faint markings. It looks like a snowstorm, and I just rough edged, torn that, and that will go just underneath the stitching that I've already done on this front cover. So that will go on there. I've decided that. The reason I've not stuck it into place because I didn't know if I wanted to put any flips or tucks in here as yet. I have made my mind up now, because one thing I don't want to have with this journal is that it's going to get way too thick. My little shaker envelope, I've made up my mind that is going in that front cover, and it will open like so. I will have something underneath, as I said before, and also I'm going to do it so that I can tuck things behind it and have a little tuck spot. Now, because of the shape and size of this flap, it's not going to be a big tuck spot, so it will be wide, but it won't be particularly deep, but that's absolutely fine. I'm okay with that. Another thing, as you can see, is I've put a little bow across the corner. Now the whole kit is dotted with these. If you get the bauble add-on, if you will, kit, and I've got one of the pages here. Now you get two of this big size baubles, and as you can see, it's dotted around with different size bows in the three colours. But there is an additional sheet which I've chopped into, as you can see here, of much smaller baubles, and again you still get the same bows, but again they're reduced in size, so you've got plenty of choice depending on what colour you want or what size of bow you want. And I gave some ideas in a previous video on some ideas I had for this kit on what to do with those bows, and you will see that I'm using them now. And this was one of the ideas, and it was to fussy cut the bow image out. Let me just move this across for you a little bit, and everything's falling apart. Fussy cut out the bow, and this is one of the largest bows, and just glue it to your page at the edges, so down there and down here, and leave the inside portion free, unglued, and it makes a great little tuck spot for all sorts of things. And the reason I wanted to do that was I wanted to pick up the bows on the paper that I've used on the opposite page, and it just carries that that look through. So I think that what I will do is I will, as you can see, I've chopped out one of the baubles. I will just tuck it under there, and when this envelope is in place, I will have enough room, I think, to get that bauble, if I tuck it back under there, in and out. I don't really want that bauble to be sticking out like so. This is one of the smallest baubles. Now I could print out that sheet of small baubles 2 to a page to get this even smaller, but I'm not going to do that. I don't want that look. Another thing I could do is I could make a hole in this and have it just dangling as a loose journaling spot or something like that. But that's what I'm thinking of doing there, having one tucked up, oops a daisy, up inside there. And for some reason it doesn't want to go now. There we go. And maybe have another couple just poking out the top behind my envelope there. So that's that. Going over to the opposite page. Now I have taken this page in the kit and I've printed it off to a page. And what I've created is a flap with some pockets. So I've used this portion, right, just bring that down and show you. I've used this portion of the page and cut it out to create this flap here. And then if I open it up inside, I've used the rest in a piece here, a full-size piece, so that when I close my page across, it looks like it flows all the way across. You do get a break in the image down here, but that's not really noticeable. If you were really that bothered, you could trim it with a piece of lace down here, or you could put a label or something down here to hide just this little portion, which obviously, because the tree from the page below is tucking underneath, it's not quite flowing. But actually I don't think you particularly notice that. All I've done on this portion here, if I just take my paper clips away, so this is the piece that I cut out, and it fits on this side of the page like so, and then that's my fold in my journal. So it leaves me with a little flap like that. And what I did for the other side was, that's my reverse side. I just cut out a portion of this paper, the same size, and what I will do with this piece is I will stitch it to that flap, so that what I create is a couple of pockets. So what I'm planning to do is, and again let me move you across, I will have a pocket here behind this piece of paper. And I also, and again bringing you back again, let me just put these paper clips here. It just kind of holds it all together whilst I'm trying to show you what I'm doing. And then this piece also is a pocket. It's a pocket at the end in there. So I will be stitching all the way down there and all the way down here to give me my pocket here and my pocket in there. And as you can see, I've already done a thumb notch there in readiness for what I'm going to do. Okay, so let's straighten this up. What I have also done is I have plans to put another one of these bows down here with this little bauble, and that is going to sit like that as a journaling spot. And then I have my place in there for some tags to go. But I think I will probably end up putting them in that way, like so. And I actually have made a couple of tags, whoops-a-daisy, to go in that pocket. So I've made one of the snowman image. And this is one of the tags in the kit. I've done nothing with it except do a little embellishment. So there's some little tiny stars, and I've just put some little gemstone type half pearls in the larger of the stars. I think I will put some glossy accents on his scarf and the holly in his cap, just to make it pop a little bit. And then I've just put some tulle at the bottom, some more of those little rhinestones, trying to mimic ice really. A tiny little piece of card, blue card at the back there, trying to pick up the blue of the snowman's body. There's a tiny little piece of fabric behind this, and this is a tiny little stamp that I think I've shown you that you get in the kit anyway. There's a whole sheet, sorry, there's a whole add-on kit as well of Christmas stamps, and this is one I've reduced down to 2 a page of those stamps, just to get that tiny little image there. And again, I think I will touch up that stocking with glossy accents because it's Christmas, so it's kind of icy and sparkly and whatever. And then this is some of the Avril Art Twine that you may, well, I've used it a lot in the creations and creativity boxes that I've made. I use it all the time, actually. It's really gorgeous stuff. And Angela's mentioned it recently in her latest video. It comes from an Etsy shop called Nesso, and again, I'll put the details down below for this. It does come all the way from Hong Kong. The ladies over there are amazingly helpful, but this is such good value because the thread comes in 6 strands that are twisted together and then on a big ball. And my goodness, you don't need to use all the strands all in one go unless you absolutely want to. You can unravel it and mix and match, and it just lasts forever. It really does. So anyway, getting back, this is one of the little tags in the kit, and all I've done is back it onto tea stained paper. I've stitched around it. I've inked the edges again, although there is a slight edging to the edge colour to the tag, I should say. But I've just given it a little bit more colour because I've put that coffee stained, tea stained paper on the back, and an eyelet through it. So that's one of my tags that is going to go, I think, in that pocket. And this is the other one. Again, another tag from the kit. And again, nothing special. I've just backed it, inked and stitched it. Some more of the Avril Art Twine on the top there. And I just chose the colours that would complement the kit. And then a tiny little gemstone at the top on here, and some little bluish half pearls down the bottom. And you know me, I couldn't resist some French script. So that is what I'm going to do in this area here. And then in this pocket, what I've done is I've just used, let me flip that over, one of the seed packets, chopped the top off and the flap and the fold in at the bottom, just to make a little folded journaling card, put in some tea stained paper, put in some of the stamps from the add-on kit. Again, you can see my little bows, and then just some of the some of the tags from the kit. Again, I've just made them up. This one I've backed in blue from some of the layering mats that they give you in the kit, in the main kit, and put on one of the tiny little stamps as an embellishment at the top, and again more Avril Twine. So that's all I've done on that one. This is again another one of the stamps, and I've just chopped it out, used one of the layering mats to give a little bit of dimension on the top of this tag, and again this base tag is in the kit, and some more Avril Twine, and again I've used some of the matting layers that they provide in the kit to back this in blue. So I've just made a couple of little tuck spots there, like so. And what I thought I would do with this is I would just have it so that it will go in that end pocket, like so. Now I can either have it that way round, but my concern about doing that is it makes this page look a bit bitty, it doesn't quite flow. So what I will do is I will do it this way round, and that keeps it all looking quite nice, I think, and delicate, unfussy. And then when I flip it over this side, I have the continuity across here, which might be boring for some people, but it kind of appeals to me. I always try and think less is more, and it's not always easy to do, but this is kind of what I'm thinking with this little one. So that is the image I will get going across there, and then when I open it up, I will get my details and interest with all of this going on underneath the flap. So it's almost like hiding everything away in a cupboard, really. Everything is hidden behind the flap, or that's my cunning plan. So that is how I'm thinking that that part will work. Those 2 pages will work. Now, as before, I haven't stuck this down because I am contemplating whether, again, to leave one edge open here and have it so that I can have a big journaling card in there, because as pretty as these little journals are, we want to be able to use them. Well, some people like to use them. I don't. They're always lookbooks to me. I enjoy looking at people's art and people's creations, and I never ever use my journals. But I know some people do. And so I want to have a little journaling spot in there, I think. So that's what I'm doing there. Right, now going over the page, and this is where you will see what I mean about you might want to increase the size of your journal if you are following along. If you remember, there was a pocket here and a pocket here, and I used this page in the kit to, as it was, to create this spread, if you will. And I actually printed this page off to a page and used the 2 portions of it to create this. So I measured in from the edge and chopped, and it just brought me to the edge of this gorgeous garden pagoda, or, well, I was going to call it a summer house, wire-framed winter house, if you will. So it just brought me right to the very edge of that, and then I used the rest of the card to make up this bit, which went to my centre fold. Now this is where all the paper piercing comes in, because as you can see, this here is the width of the full border, and if you look at the bottom and the top, I've had to chop the border in half so that this image would actually fit in. Whereas if your journal was just slightly bigger, you wouldn't need to do that. And I did exactly the same on the other side. I measured in from the border and found that it just brought me to the edge of that lovely bird bath. And in fact, it actually brought me to right down the centre trunk of the tree that's next door to it, which is like so. So it worked. Happy accident, trust me, it wasn't by design, it was happy accident. So it worked perfectly. Now, I love how this flows. I'm not bothered that I'm picking up the pagoda here, which is obviously the other side of that sheet, for the simple reason that I'm going to put papers in here. So this is going to be my journaling area, so that won't be seen. It will be tucked up and hidden away. So that's my plan for this page. And then going over the page, oh, done nothing. Well, actually I have planned it out. This is one of the seed packets that all I've done is I've chopped off the flap at the bottom, or the folding bit at the bottom, and I've chopped off the lid just to make, or the top flap, just to make a little pocket. But I've left the other flap that you would normally fold in. So there was one at the bottom, one at the side, and then a flap that acted as the lip at the top. So I've cut off the top, I've cut off the bottom, but I've left that one. Now normally that would be tucked in, but I want to use it to make a flip out pocket. So what I'm planning to do is I'm planning to put it on the edge of the page like so, so that it will open out and be a pocket there. And this edge will be hidden by whatever card or page I put on here. It won't be seen, that hinge, it'll be gone. So that was the purpose for me leaving that hinge there. And it's not a new trick by any means. Loads of people will be, do that all the time. We do it with envelope flaps. So yeah, just another idea. If you're a newbie, that might be new to you, but for the rest of us, it won't be. So that's what I'm planning to do there. And then I could not leave out this little mouse image. Absolutely adorable. Just love, 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 love it. So this tag, which is in the kit, and as you can see it was a misprint on the other side, but that won't matter because I will cover that over with tea stain paper. And actually this is quite lightweight paper. This paper is about 120 GSM. So it needs reinforcing either with a thicker cardstock or with tea or coffee stained paper. Now, because I like to use mixed media paper, which is quite thick for my tea and coffee stained papers, that will reinforce this, or I'll use a piece of scrap cardstock. So this one is perfect for this little end pocket that we've got at the back here. So that tag will be going in there. And then this is also in the kit. Now this is one of the layering mats, and again, just by happy accident, that is, as near as damn it, the perfect size for this back pocket. So I am going to put this on this back pocket, and I haven't quite decided yet what papers I'm going to be using in here. But when I come back to you, I will have finished my decisions about all of this, and it will be stitched and glued in place, and similarly here, and my inclusions for these pockets, and I will have finished this. So those are all my ideas for what I'm doing there. And then once we've done that, my next video will be to show you how I plan to decorate these 2 pages, which ostensibly is the back of the journal, but it's not wasted space. You can still use that as journaling spots, tuck spots and the like, and that's what I will be doing. So thank you so much everybody for letting me share my thoughts with you. I hope you're enjoying seeing how this is coming together, and actually I hope 1 or 2 of you might be playing along with me. So if you are, please let me know, and I'd love to see how you get on and what your little creation looks like. Thanks everybody, take care, bye bye now.